Marshawn Lynch times
No, yeah.
prime
So when I say
Le'Veon Bell. Like, this guy is literally ridiculous. Like,
welcome back, everybody. Episode 10 of the Targeting Podcast. We got all the boys here. Boys, how we doing today?
Pretty solid.
absolutely great, man. What's good?
Love to hear. We're going to start, as always, with our player of the week. Guys, Justin, do you want to start us off with your player of the week?
Sure, yeah. So as always, I'm between two, but I'm gonna end up going with Lamar Jackson, given the fact that Monday Night Football game was one of the best we've ever seen on a Monday night. Some people are saying the best, but I can't put it over that Chiefs-Rams game from 2018 or something. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it was like 54-51. That game was ridiculous. I can't put it over that, but it was a hell of a game, a lot of fun to watch, and Lamar, the Ravens came out on top, which really helped out Lamar's cause. He had 287 total yards, 124 of them rushing it on his own, 3 total touchdowns. He put on a show, and they ended up getting a huge win down there in Cleveland. So that was an awesome game, and he definitely earned it this week.
That was a crazy game, and you remember? Or did you guys hear when they were comparing it to the Rondo? Or no, who was it? They were comparing it to.
I'm not too
Rondo.
Sure.
Not Rondo. The one where he had to go take a dump.
Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
he made sure to clarify that that's not what happened, but we'll never know. After
Yeah, he was at the interview. He was like, "I didn't pull Paul Pierce. I didn't pull."
Yeah. John, do you want to tell us your player of the week?
Yeah, I was, again, just like Justin, I'm between a couple guys. I want to go NBA and give it to a rookie, but we're going to talk about him later. So I'm going to say that for Dame because he's a sucker for him.
My player of the week.
I think I'm going to have to probably just go with a guy that I just love on my lineup for fantasy, Calvin Ridley. Just guy's got 8 receptions for 124 yards with a touchdown.
Solid player.
Atlanta still loses. They still suck. but he still comes out and gets me 20-plus points every week. So gotta love that.
Love to hear that. Dame, who's your player of the week?
I was gonna give it to Lamar, but I gotta give it to Melo. You know, he's been consistent, throwing up some threes, and he just has crazy passes. And that was the question: was he gonna do that in the league? And he did.
Hey,
Boy,
love Melo. Hey, it's love Melo, not Melo. Carmelo Anthony is Melo. No, I'm just shitting with you. I'm just shitting with you.
Boy, Leandro's out of the league, bro. How do you feel about that?
It's tough, you know. Jello, I liked him. I like all the Ball brothers, but
you hear what LeVar said about the Pistons organization?
Yeah, he said that
they were raggedy. He goes, I have no problem with the fans. Fans are great, but the organization, it's a little raggedy.
Yeah, he was like, I'm not disappointed with him leaving.
Yeah, literally.
LeVar just doing what's best for his kids though, all the time. And I know you guys don't like LeVar, but I think he's
got to step out
in his own way. So
you're absolutely right. I definitely respect him for that. And I mean, LiAngelo did not get to play a single minute on the Pistons, so that sucks for him. I bet he'll get another chance, though. I bet he'll sign somewhere else.
I bet he'll sign somewhere else, and then maybe.
I don't know about maybe this season, but at some point in the future, I bet he'll get another chance. I don't think this is the end of LiAngelo.
Definitely. As long as his brothers, I think, are like solid and producing, I think he'll always have like kind of a shot. Teams will always be looking towards him. But
the media really hypes up Melo, so it's like it's hard to give it to him when it's like kind of what's obvious. But just his passes were so crazy, and then he ended up getting 18, knocking down a bunch of threes. So I'll give it to him.
He is a flashy, fun player to watch, man. That guy, he has NBA ready vision for sure. He's crazy.
He's good, definitely. Yeah. And then my player of the week was the same as Justin's, Lamar Jackson. That was a crazy game. I'm telling you right now, if the Patriots do not make the playoffs, which we won't get into that this week, but if they don't make the playoffs, that is the team I am rooting for, the Cleveland Browns. I'm on the Baker Mayfield.
Hold on 1 second.
I am on the Baker Mayfield train, hardcore. And I don't know, but that was a great game.
Wait. So is your player of the week Baker or Lamar here?
No, my player of the week's Lamar.
Okay.
I think Lamar played a better game than anybody in that Monday night. But
I am with Jerry though. You want to see the Browns do well.
Personally, from like a team perspective, I know it made it sound unclear. My player of the week is Lamar Jackson on the Baltimore Ravens. But,
Yeah.
but my team that I'm rooting for right now in the NFL is the Cleveland Browns, because that is just a great story. I really want them to go far. I love Baker Mayfield. But yeah, that's how I feel about that game. But
Hey, in a weird way, they've been better since they lost OBJ, which is interesting.
it is
Yeah, they
interesting.
have been.
I think here's what I think on that. I think when you have a guy like that, there's so much pressure to throw the ball to him that you end up missing out on a lot of the receptions you could get with other guys, and you end up like forcing passes that aren't there. So I think in a weird way, when he's not on the field, there's not like this like weird like pressure to throw him the ball. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but that's what I've been kind of seeing.
No, I agree with you. I think OBJ is. I mean, I feel like ever since he's left the Giants, he's just been a. We don't know. 1 week he gets a touchdown and a couple like great yardage, and another game he's just like on the sideline bitching and moaning.
Well,
the whole
ever
game.
since he's made that catch, his head's been a balloon, and I think there's just a lot of pressure to.
I think when Baker's out there and he can just work with what he's got, and he doesn't have to force himself to throw it to someone who is there to catch the ball the whole time. I think he can make things work. And I think that's what you've seen the last couple of games. I mean, the Ravens game, I think we all saw was going to be their toughest competition.
Yeah.
Lately, at least. And honestly, I was rooting for them the whole game. But, again, it's a hell of a game, and you hate to see the outcome there. But, at the end of the day, you can't really, say anything. I mean, both teams play unbelievable football.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't know how it's weird to me that they'd be better with OBJ. I get that he is sort of a head case or whatever it is, but he, if anything, at worst, should just be a distraction and create more opportunity for your other receivers, because he's probably getting doubled every time up the field. And if he's just getting your other receivers open, I mean, I don't know how it wouldn't work adding him to the team, but maybe it's just a coincidence or slash.
But I think like, and
or,
I'm gonna it might not be a great NBA comparison, but I'll make one. It's sort of like when you bring a guy like Russell Westbrook in, and I'm not going to talk about Russell Westbrook and his issues right now, but let's say you bring a guy like him in. If there's so much pressure to give him the ball and to make him do everything, like in reality, you would think, oh, they'll double team Russell Westbrook, it'll open the floor. But in reality, a guy like that wants the ball. Just like I think how OBJ wants to get the ball. He wants to get the touchdowns. I think it's like this weird pressure that you have to find him, and you're not even
if he's double teamed.
So yeah. I think it's a situation where like that, where you bring like a superstar guy, and you're like, man, it should work. But it feels like almost like he's such a good player that he demands the ball, and he demands the ball so much that those other guys you just end up forgetting about.
I think he needed to get the injury and get off the field for a bit, because he was getting a little bit of a head case in Cleveland, and I think that was hurting them earlier on the past couple.
That's not an organization either where like they have like where they're established, like if he came to New England or something or a team like established like that, then it'd be a different story, because he's under a regime, not a regime, but he's under an organization that's established where they already got all their workings, and he can just kind of, that's how I think that's why Cam's working. Like if Cam was on Cleveland, oh my God, I think he would do whatever the hell he wanted, he could, and it would just end up not working. But since you have like a team like Cleveland where they don't know what they are yet, and they're still trying to find that kind of formula to success, he's like, all right, well, I'm part of that formula. I'll do whatever I can to make it successful. In his eyes, was what is successful. So I think that's why.
And you look at the Browns. I mean, over the years, as they've gotten better picks and they've gotten better players through trading. I mean, you have Landry now, you have Garrett, you have Chubb. I mean,
they have a loaded roster.
And Kareem Hunt, and their defense has some guys on. I mean, you have Austin Hooper too. I forgot about, who's still a great tight end. You have these small guys too on the defense who, like, I think they have Denzel Ward, who you don't even think are just great cornerbacks still, but they play at such a high level. And when you play on a team that you don't expect to lose, but you don't expect a huge outcome, but you just go out there to play your best fucking game and, play the best you can. That is why this team is the record that they have right now. And that is why I think each year going on, assuming contracts stay and players stay, they're going to get better and better. And the Ravens might get beat out by them one season, because the Ravens seem to have been struggling this season a lot with games that they should have won and they didn't. And the Browns have been winning a lot of games that we think that they shouldn't be winning, but they are.
they have the pieces. It's just they need to find the chemistry. And I
They
think
do.
when you have all guys like that, it's hard to find chemistry sometimes.
They have a lot of head cases. I mean, you have Kareem Hunt still, who they got him.
Hey,
And
Kareem Hunt was huge for me. I was in a playoff matchup in fantasy, and it was tied going into Monday night with the guy I was playing against, and he had Nick Chubb, I had Kareem Hunt, and they both ended up putting up over 24 points. Nick Chubb got out to 2 early touchdowns before Kareem Hunt even had his first, and I thought it was over with. I had lost, and then Kareem Hunt ended up scoring a touchdown and then another one in the final minute to put me over, and I actually won my fantasy matchup. He was huge. I was so hyped watching him out there. My goodness, that was hype.
I think they got a. What were you gonna say, Dame?
Should I just get into fantasy player of the week real quick? Because
Yeah, sure.
it was Lamar, and we have a 4-person league, us 4. And I also have Patrick Mahomes because we're kind of just loaded. And I had Lamar on the bench, and he would have got me 34 points, I believe. Yep, 34.92. So
Yeah, he had a hell of a game. I was playing against him in another league, and it did not feel good to play against him. But
yeah.
No, but I agree with you, Jerry. Though the Browns organization, I think, is heading in the right direction. I think they just need to.
I can get behind. I just don't want to see him be like ruined by just head cases. Like I like Baker. Like Baker's sort of a head case himself, but I think Baker at the end of the day wants to win, and he'll do whatever he can to win. And I like a guy like him at the helm rather than like OBJ or rather than Kareem Hunt.
No, I agree with you. I think Kareem Hunt's been doing. I think Kareem Hunt is playing his role there. I think I'm a little more scared about OBJ because I feel like he's a little bit more vocal with his head case. I mean, we've seen him on the Giants before.
I just don't know how you're not like, I don't know how your team isn't almost perfect with 2 guys like that because you're dangerous on both sides. Like,
well, I think it's the quarterback. If your quarterback's a head case, that kind of makes it harder.
But I don't think Baker's a head case.
He was in college.
He was, but he developed in the NFL, and
I'd say they're different head cases in a sense.
Right.
I mean, Baker's the type to just, I don't even. It's different head cases. Like it's hard to even explain, but they both go off on the team and themselves in very different ways, but similar in a sense. I'm
not a Baker guy. I'm not a Baker guy. I liked him in his rookie year, and then since then I've grown more and more dislike for him. I don't know. He has more commercials than he does touchdown passes, so that doesn't help his cause.
That's a good thumbnail right there.
Yeah,
I respect Baker. I never really liked him. I felt like he was going to be a Johnny Manziel, to be honest with you. I feel like the Browns are going to bring in a guy that was just going to be Johnny Manziel. He's going to be a partier. He's just going to do a bunch of crazy shit, and he's going to just get kicked off the team. I think what he's been doing and how he's been playing is, fair.
It's been good enough. It's been good enough on a loaded roster. He's good enough. But I think when OBJ comes back, you need a quarterback who's going to hit OBJ with the targets. You need to be able to make the plays and you need to be able to go above and beyond, which I think, we're going to see in the offseason, hopefully. But again, he's still got a career ahead of him. So I'm really just hopeful for the Browns organization. I never like to see an organization just fall through the gutters forever. I'd like to see them pick themselves up.
Yeah, I think they've been on the rise for a couple of years. I would like to see them sort of make a push for something.
I mean, the Pats struggled earlier. I mean, the Pats struggled a long time ago in the past, until we had Brady and Belichick, so teams go through these slumps, but I think they're on the uprise.
It just seems like they always get like somebody and then it just doesn't work out for some reason. And it's just.
Oh, they've had a lot of those opportunities where they've gotten people and they're just.
Yeah. But we can move into Justin's stat of the week. Justin, do you
Sure.
You have anything for us?
Yes, sir. Actually, I have a wild one this week. So Wilt Chamberlain, obviously, he needs no introduction. Everyone knows who Wilt Chamberlain is. The 100-point per game scorer, the just first ballot Hall of Famer by a long shot. So he's had an unbelievable career, obviously, and he is the all-time leader in NBA history for minutes per game at 45.8 minutes per game, and never once in his entire 14-year career did he ever foul out of a game. He played the most minutes in history and also never fouled out of a game. Isn't that just crazy to think about? As a center, he never once fouled out of a game in 14 years, averaging 45.8 minutes per. That's literally sitting for 2 minutes.
Especially as a center, you're down in the paint, you're getting bodied, you're getting.
Oh, it's incredible. I don't understand how
I
that
feel
stat
like
is real.
that's so hard, especially at that position, because you're just literally people are driving in the lane. You're bound to get at least one or two blocking fouls. Like that's wow. That is
I can't believe that stat exists. That's crazy.
Thank you for the stat, Justin.
Of course. Every week I got you.
Well, if we're on the topic of
yeah.
basketball, I can get right into my what the fuck moment.
All right, yeah, Holy, do you want to
Go ahead.
I think we all can see this one coming when I say it with no. I just sometimes I don't even have it prepared, and I just think to myself before we start the pod, and then I'm just right away. Blake Griffin throwing Thomas Bryant to the floor.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Just I'm not a Blake Griffin guy. Again, I respect his game, but I'm not a Blake Griffin guy. Don't really even know Thomas Bryant, but what it really just got under my skin is the fact that you throw him to the floor blatantly. We all saw that. It's just clear. He throws him to the floor.
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant.
He throws him a little bit to the floor. Thomas Bryant sells it a little bit. But he still he moves him. Thomas Bryant falls. Make your case whichever side you want. But the laughing in his face. Just fight him.
I thought it was hilarious. Thomas Bryant was so animated for some reason. He wasn't even bad. Like it's not like he could have got injured or anything. And Blake Griffin's just cheesing. He's just laughing in his face. That was hilarious.
It was just
I thought that was Thomas's Bryant's fault. I was like, because he came at him. You could see he came at him. He tried to put, and Blake kind of just gave him like an elbow. I don't know if you saw it, but he just kind of gave him like a little elbow, and then he fell to the floor. Thomas Bryant got right, like he didn't even like try to push back, like he just got up and like was about to fight Blake Griffin.
No, yeah, like what amazed me and why I'm picking this moment, like again. All things aside, you can look at it however you want. I think it's funny at the end of the day, because it's not even like a typical NBA, altercation where a guy falls to the floor, he gets picked up, he comes over, he's looking at the guy, their mouth talking. He just squared his shoulders and just started getting ready to just throw a punch, and Blake Griffin just stared at him like, the fuck? Literally, it was like one of those fucking dummies that you see that get knocked over and get right back up. And he's just right in his face.
Blake Griffin is just like, I don't know. Like, he's a funny guy. Because he can be the most serious person. Like, when he, who was a dunk over? It was,
there's been millions.
What?
There's been millions. He's dunked on everybody in the entire NBA.
DeAndre Jordan, like that dunk. That was the point guard. Forgetting his name, but
Brandon Knight. Yeah.
Over Brandon Knight, right? And he was so serious. He was like, bruh. Like he's just like such a serious guy. But then he can do shit like that and just like laugh in somebody's face. I just think it is so funny. And I just
don't see Blake Griffin laughing.
I have so much respect for people like that who can be dead serious in the moment, like when they're like competing and stuff like that. But like when like shit like that happens and they just look at him and laugh, I just think that is the funniest shit ever. That cracks me up. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. I like Blake a lot too, actually. And recently I've seen like some interviews of him or whatever, and he's definitely seems like a very genuine guy. He seems like he's a hilarious dude. So yeah, I actually do like Blake a lot. I hope he can keep his knee healthy and have a good year.
Yeah, same
he's a great fantasy player. If anybody wants a guy just off the bench, I've had him. He gets some points.
Yeah, he seems like like Justin said, he seems like a genuine guy. I don't think there's. I mean, I'm not gonna overgeneralize, but it just seems like there's a lot of NBA players that like they're just in it for the money, and like at the end of the day, like if they win or lose, they're not even having fun anymore. They're just kind of doing their job. Blake Griffin just seems like a nice guy, a nice, funny guy to chill around. But
he's out there to just play the game.
He's just playing the game. He's trying to compete. He's trying to win, but he's having fun while he's doing it, and I can respect that.
But he's like he was in Los Angeles and got traded to Detroit, and he still has a great time. You gotta love a guy like that.
Yeah, you gotta love a guy like that.
That's tough scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
Jerry, I compare it to you when you're out there on the court, when you have your all serious face, your all-star defense, and then I'm there standing in front of you, and I make you laugh on the throw-in.
Exactly, and then coach gets mad at me. He's like, "Why are you laughing?"
And then your coach gets mad at you because you're laughing in this dude's face.
Yeah, literally. But literally.
I know we've already moved on we've all done our athletes of the week and stuff, but I feel like I have to mention his name just because he also had a fantastic week. Derrick Henry just doing Derrick Henry things. He's just a king. 222 yards, 2 touchdowns again. Like, I mean, 200-yard rushing games are like a regular Sunday for him now, and that's literally like ridiculous. That's insane to rush for that much. So, and he's doing it regularly. Again,
he puts the
2
whole
more
offense
TDs,
on his
so
back. He puts the whole offense on his back.
He is a
He
different
does.
type. He's a different type of strong.
The reason teams
Yeah.
struggle so much with the Tennessee Titans is because that man plows through defensive lines, and just nobody can stop
It's
him.
just weird because running backs like that usually, I mean, they're usually bigger. They're either big or they're fast. And it just seems like he's a little bit of both. And that's scary. Like his lower
he's a
body-
lot of bit of both.
his-
It's
which
like
is
when I think of when I first started thinking of Derrick Henry, I thought of like LeGarrette Blount. I was like, he's a big guy. He's gonna plow through the line. He's gonna
That's
get
what
you
I
those
thought.
5 yards. He's gonna get to those 5 yards. But Blount wasn't fast. He just got you the 5 extra yards.
Well, you look-
Derrick Henry runs 99 yards like a fucking.
you look at exactly, John. That's a great comparison because LeGarrette Blount gets through defenses and then around the when he's getting like right towards a touchdown, he starts to die out. Derrick Henry just runs through the line, keeps running, like just like crazy fast too. And it just seems like he's got the strength, like the lower body and upper body, to get through that initial defensive line by himself. He doesn't even need a lot of help, it seems like nowadays. They get through that initial defensive line, and then he's gone. Like, it's crazy. I just don't know.
He's more like a.
breed.
I think Blunt would be his floor, and he's more like a Marshawn Lynch times.
No, yeah. So
prime
when I
Le'Veon
say
Bell. Like, this guy is literally ridiculous. Like,
so when I
he's-
say LeGarrette Blount, I'm just thinking of Patriots right off the top of my head. But I'd say if we could just make a super Derrick Henry. If you're making Derrick Henry just out of other running backs, I'm giving the legs right there. Again, it's a little bit of an over comparison, but the legs there, like Le'Veon Bell or Tyreek Hill. The guy is so fast. He got just such powerful legs for a guy that's that big. Like when you compare,
he's got that
Tyreek
speed with
stature-
Marshawn Lynch strength and like trucking. It's
like
crazy.
Tyreek's stature with his speed, it makes sense. Derrick Henry's stature with his speed makes no fucking sense.
I just don't understand how you can be that strong, that big, and just still be that fast.
I keep
'Cause,
thinking of Marshawn Lynch's run. Seahawks. They were wearing the
Yeah, I know what
away
you're talking
school
about.
jerseys. Forget who they were
They're
playing.
playing against the Saints. Yeah, he
Saints,
went all the way
Saints.
to the house.
He went all
and
the
it was
way.
like-
He just kept doing the turnaround and just. It's just a different breed. He's built different, bro.
I think
built
though
different.
the good thing about him though that I like about him is it seems like he always has been like progressing. Like he was good at Alabama, but it didn't seem like he was that dominant like coming right out. So I like the progression I saw on him because I don't think he was always
Good
like
at Alabama. He was good at Alabama,
he
but
was good, but he still had a couple of things to take care of.
he was
And
very underrated. It's just I'd say for especially, I mean, we see with Marshawn, a guy like Derrick Henry, I think is going to be in the Hall of Fame. With the yards he's putting in, the touchdowns he's putting in, depending on how long his career is, injuries, etc.
He's already up to 1,500 yards this year, so he's going to be back to back. He's going to get the rushing title back to back season.
So he's making his way to getting a ballot for the Hall of Fame. And I think for Derrick Henry, though, the big key here is a lot of we see running backs. I mean, like Adrian Peterson's still here, Frank Gore's still here, but the difference is that Marshawn Lynch and Derrick Henry, they're big guys and they get battered a lot. Those types of running backs don't usually last that long.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They usually don't last that long. Like Adrian Peterson, Frank Gore, they're different breeds. Frank Gore's a different breed too. He's a guy that gets battered all the time, and he's still great. But, I mean, look at LeGarrette Blount now. I mean, I just don't see him. I don't hear about him. I mean, I feel like they just fall off the map a little bit. I don't think Derrick Henry will, but I think with
even
age,
all running backs in general at that
running backs in
position,
general.
you can't
they
last
don't
very long.
last.
I mean,
Yeah.
you look at there's so many examples, countless examples. Le'Veon Bell isn't the same person he was. Todd Gurley can't even run at all anymore, I guess.
tell you right now,
He's been terrible in Atlanta.
He's 26 years old. So I don't give him more than till like 32 at most if he's even going to go past that. Because 30s, when you get to your 30s, for running backs, it's real tough to go past that.
It is tough. The running back position is a tough one to be consistently good at. Even if you can stay healthy somehow, like Ezekiel Elliott, who's been for the majority, he's been healthy for the past few years. I saw a stat of his yards per game over the past 4 seasons. It was like 108, and then the next season 95, and then like 89, and then 68 this year.
It's a
He just
downward
consistently gets
progression.
worse. Defenses figure you out. You can't be consistently good at a running back position unless you are really special. Derrick Henry might be one of those special guys. He definitely could. I feel like he's not going anywhere anytime soon, but you never know. I mean, the running back position is hard to play.
I think we could have a Frank Gore situation where this guy is going to keep playing at a high level. I think he's going to fall off in a few years, not in a bad way. I think it's just going to be a little bit of a downward progression. He's not going to be getting 220 yards. I just don't think. I mean,
he's doing this. He's doing this on a weekly basis now.
But he's doing it on a weekly basis. I think
it's crazy.
I think for Derrick Henry, he's one of the guys I respect so much. I just want to see this man come out here, get as many yards as he can every single week, and get that Hall of Fame ballot secured for sure. And he's getting it. It's it's almost in the mail. At this point, it's going to be handed to him if he keeps playing at this level.
Well, he's still super young, so he's definitely got work to do. But yeah,
he still has work to do. And again, I'm a fan of him. I've always been a fan of him. He just plays at high level.
You just got to appreciate him in the moment because you never know when it's going to be good.
And I keep thinking back to, and I'm not going to bring up old wounds, but Pats lose to the Tennessee Titans. Everyone's talking about Tannehill beating Brady out.
No, Derrick Henry.
At the end of the day, I tipped my hat at that game. It was sad. I was so disappointed, but I tipped my hat because going into that game, I was I didn't know how we were going to take Derrick Henry down. I didn't know.
Won that game, in my opinion.
Derrick Henry is
you didn't know how we were going to do it, and the answer is we didn't. Guy had over 200 yards against us that game.
I mean, think about going back to that game. Wide receivers, they still got passing yards, but wide receivers are covered, tight ends are covered, but we still tried to. You see, so many times we had so many blitzes, we tried to cover them on the rushing game. Nothing. He got 5 extra yards every time.
So good that game was because we were guarding the run because we're we need to start stopping Derrick Henry. That opened up the passing routes, and then Tannehill was it was all.
And then it was all in the game. And then obviously when we try and start doing a little zone coverage and we start working on our line, then Derrick Henry just pounds through it and just gets a touchdown.
It's crazy. He is unreal. And I think as long as he can as long as he has the same strength throughout his career, I think a lot of these guys start to lose either speed or strength. And that becomes the problem for them. And along with the fact that defensive linemen are just getting bigger, stronger. And
if I'm not, I'd rather keep the strength factor.
I would keep the strength, increase the speed if you can. And then I think he can have kind of a longer career than maybe these.
I mean, look at Frank Gore. Frank Gore is not fast anymore.
No, he's been bad for 5-6 years now.
Yeah,
he's 40, 45. He's still gone.
Again, I'm talking Frank Gore. I don't think Derrick's gonna get to 45, whatever Frank Gore is. But you see that
Frank Gore's got to be 80.
Frank Gore was strong. I mean, you got to look at these people they're strong. He's gonna lose his speed. It's just a fact. But I just hope he keeps the strength because the strength he can still pound through the lines, get you a couple yards. He's not going to be doing 99 from the house. But
yeah, he's 37. That's actually not. That's younger than I would have thought.
Let
me tell you what. He looks exactly like he did on. He looks exactly like he did on draft night. He literally looks the exact same. He hasn't aged one bit.
I think he looks I thought he was 42 when he was getting drafted.
Dude's been in the league forever. But yeah.
The guy looks like he's 42.
That's funny.
But yeah, as you said, Jerry, Derrick Henry, he makes everybody better. He makes Ryan Tannehill better. He got Ryan Tannehill another $30 million 4-year deal this offseason because he makes him look good. And nothing against Tannehill or A.J. Brown or Corey Davis because those guys are great receivers. They really are. But he makes the receivers look better. He makes the quarterback look better. He makes everything better because he opens up the pass game, as you said.
If you didn't have a rushing game, then they would just be playing the pass. And Tannehill, I love Tannehill. He's a great QB, but he would not be passing if he didn't have a rushing game.
This is the also not to get off track. This is the guy that I'm just going to mention because I was trying to think. I was thinking Frank Gore, but this is the other guy. LaShawn McCoy is the other one I was thinking more.
LaShawn McCoy.
Again,
he's still in the league, but at the running back position, you can't consistently be good.
Right
he's
now,
not good anymore.
He's teetering on the edge of just falling off. The Bills.
He's already fallen. He's
already.
That's the thing with running
Who's
backs.
he with, Tampa?
He's with Tampa, and I don't think I've seen him all year. I don't know if you. I haven't
Leonard
watched
Fournette.
full Tampa games.
I haven't seen him all year.
With Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, those are their two running backs. They never use.
I'm a little whelmed with Leonard Fournette, honestly.
Whelmed.
I'm a little whelmed. I don't think he's been really playing that out the way I thought he would be. I'd rather see.
I mean, he's never going to be like he was in Jacksonville, though, because he was getting 30 carries a night, basically. I mean, in Jacksonville, he's not getting that anytime soon.
Ronald Jones is that deep, that running back for the team.
He's nice. Ronald Jones is good. He's definitely the RB1. Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
So
you want to do your hot take, Jerry?
Yeah, sure. My hot take. I know he's been all over the news, and it's probably beating a dead horse like multiple times. This horse is very dead, but
His horse is beat to shit.
it's very dead.
I know what you're gonna say.
I'll just give like one last prediction, and then we're not gonna talk about it. I promise. We won't talk about it until something has been done. My prediction of where Harden's gonna go, and
Yep,
we
I
won't
knew it.
talk about it until something's gone. Is I think he'll go to the Heat actually, and let me explain.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Okay.
So, a bunch of teams have already said that they will not give up their prime pieces to send to Houston because they want to obviously keep the prime pieces and they're not willing to give them up. Sixers have said that. Multiple other
Sixers
teams.
actually
They
changed their
actually
mind.
just
You
said
hear
that
about
they
that?
might
They
keep
said
Ben
they're willing to
Simmons.
give Ben Simmons.
They said they're willing to give Ben Simmons and something else for Harden.
But no deal is close still.
But no deal
they
is
did
close,
say they'd
right.
be willing to do
Continue,
Simmons.
Okay.
continue with your hot take, though. Let's hear
But
it.
continue
Yeah,
hot take. I
continue.
like this.
All right,
Continue.
all right. It's a hot take. It's not like
I want to see what
oh,
pieces he's
correct.
moving left and
That's why
right.
it's hot. That's why it's hot. Anyway, so a lot of teams, I guess the Sixers have changed their minds for whatever reason. Fuck the Sixers. Anyway, the Heat right now. Oh my god, the Heat right now. They've said they've been willing to give up. They're not going to give up Jimmy Butler. They're not going to give up Dragic. But they've said they've been willing to give up Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson.
Wow.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do
And
that.
if they give up more picks,
Wouldn't do that.
a deal can be
I wouldn't
reached.
do that. Justin.
Yeah,
Justin,
it
hold
would.
on.
That still, as crazy as it sounds, that still wouldn't be enough for Houston. I don't think they definitely would want picks or something. But also, you got to make contracts work somehow. So there has to be somebody in there, probably Iguodala or something, because he makes a lot of money. You have to make the contract work. James Harden makes damn near $50 million. So somebody that gets paid has to go.
even
There
if
can't
you
be
make
two
that,
rookie deals.
Even if you make that, I still, if I'm the Heat, you're losing Hero, you're losing a nice young guy, you're losing Robinson, who just literally just gets the ball on a move and then just drops a dime every single fucking time. Iguodala, I mean, he's getting old too, but I wouldn't want to lose Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero. The picks, fuck Iguodala. I like literally the Heat. The reason that I'm like looking at the Heat now and scared of them is because of those two guys right there that are just.
If I'm the Heat, I'm putting Tyler Hero on an untouchable list. He's untouchable. You can't.
Duncan Robinson for me.
You can't
so
let Tyler Hero go for anything. I'm sorry.
Hero,
you can't.
they said they were like Hero's not untouchable.
Which is like, I mean,
well, yeah.
Pat Riley. I don't really know what Pat Riley's thinking, to be honest, because watching Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson play, and having seen in the past decade the way Steph and Clay took over the league, you have a pair of Splash Brothers on your team. Maybe not to that caliber, but you got to let these guys grow together. Those are two special guys, and having them both on the same roster is everything, because if one of them has an off night, chances are the other one isn't. So the chances are both of them won't have an off night on the same night. I mean, and that's huge to have a spark plug shooter like that. And Tyler Hero has Devin Booker potential. Like, this guy's a dominant scorer, not just a catch and shoot shooter.
Look at Duncan Robinson, though. The guy, I swear to God, if you look up a stat of the week for the next week and you look at Duncan Robinson, the guy shoots he's 11 for 11 every night or something like that with threes. There was one crazy night where he shoots
80% of his shots are 3-point shots. He doesn't take any.
But he makes so many of them on those just moves. You know, I think you need a guy.
But that's not Tyler Hero, though. Tyler Hero is a scorer. This guy is a Devin Booker type ceiling player, and to let a guy like that just walk out the door, I get the James Harden. Do you think that he win a championship if they were to pull this off?
They can get it.
I think they could win a championship without Harden.
No. If the Heat get Harden.
Dame, you have something you want to add?
I like when there's more like under the radar players than just one big name. I think that's going to take you farther.
Yeah, I think the Heat showed that they could make it to. I think the Heat showed they could make it to a playoff and they could win the playoff. They just faced a really tough Lakers team. I think Harden could definitely get them the championship, but I would rather see them win without Harden.
Who are they going to?
I think they could.
They have Harden. It's going to be Jimmy Butler. Who else?
Harden.
It'd be Gordon, Harden, Butler. Probably
which is
Who the
like
hell are they going to be starting at the 4?
good.
They
It's
did
okay.
lose Derek
They're still
Jones.
better off
They
with-
have Bam too, but they just signed him to a deal.
No. They would never do that. You could, if the fucking Heat were to give up Bam, Hero, and Robinson. Are you kidding me? Those are their three. Those should be their three untouchable guys. Is Bam, Hero, and Duncan.
Yeah, I agree. With
I would trade Butler before I'd trade Tyler Hero
I agree
for
with-
sure.
I honestly would give Butler for Harden if you're doing anything. If you're doing anything, I mean, Butler's not
You guys
worth.
throwing a bunch of other things there too.
But Jerry, I like your hot take.
Yeah.
I think I'd be more disappointed in the Heat than I would if the Nets went for Harden.
You know
I'd be
you're
so
staring-
disappointed in the Heat. I would be so utterly like the Heat literally would throw away their chances for the next couple years of winning a championship, or at least getting to the playoffs.
Well, no.
Well-
They would have. They'd put themselves in a win now situation rather than
Well,
a
win
build
now,
for the
but they're
future.
gonna ruin
'Cause
their
right now
future.
they don't need to win now. Right now they could hold on for 5-10 years and Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, if they're still there, then maybe they'd turn around. I mean, not 10 years. Just give it a couple years with Hero and Duncan and let them develop together. Like, those guys are literally flamethrowers. You got to see what you have with them. Don't just let that go after a finals run in their rookie and sophomore years. Like, quit playing. Give these guys a minute.
It's like a Tatum Brown.
Facts. Like, it literally. I mean, you can't throw away a young duo like that.
I mean, yeah, you
that'd
just make
be
it-
crazy.
You just make it to, a playoff picture in the finals in a bubble situation too. Not, just to throw that in there. You're in a bubble situation, so everything's different. And you're playing the Lakers, who are just like a super team, essentially. I mean, you got LeBron, you got AD. I mean, that's a tough team you're playing with a young roster that you have. And, and now you're trying to form up that young roster with Jimmy Butler and Dragic. I think you just need to give them a couple years.
I think Miami won the East because of their depth and their shooting, and to give up depth and shooting is not the right move for them. Although and all I'm talking about is the Miami side of this. I mean, obviously, it would be huge to bring in James Harden. Like, you instantly are a title contender if you weren't already, which you probably were because you were just in the finals. But either way, you're instantly a title contender. You might win it with James Harden and Jimmy Butler and Bam. It's a nice big three. I don't know how James Harden fits in an Eric Spoelstra system, but they'd make it work. Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches ever. He'd make it work. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. I think Harden's got to get moved. He's got to get moved if he's going to get moved. Like, I'm tired of this shit.
I think they should do Harden. I think they should do a Harden, Simmons, someone else, and a couple picks maybe situation. The 76ers.
We'll see. But anyways, I know we said we weren't going to
You tried to
keep talking about this.
we weren't going to talk about it, but
I'm so sorry.
We just need something
James
to happen.
Harden needs
That's
to get
all
the
I'm gonna
fuck out of the
say. We
news.
need
Yeah.
something to happen.
Facts.
It's
And
awesome.
hey, NBA season starts next week, so next week's episode we'll have the full slate of the opening week games.
Definitely.
So definitely a lot to look forward to.
Definitely.
And then I think just
And then Hooli, do you have start bench cut ready, or do you want to do that
I think we're just gonna push that to
next week?
We'll,
All right.
next
we'll
week,
do that
so-
another time. Yeah.
yeah. So we're gonna do a nice NFL start bench cut ending the next episode. I think for the Christmas special that we got coming up for you guys with the Christmas games. But
The only other
I was
thing before we end it is the Steelers fell off the mountain, and we didn't talk about
NFL.
it last week, and they've lost 2 in a row now, so they officially are out of the bye week. It's going to be Kansas City getting that bye, which, I mean, unless Kansas City loses another one, but I don't think Patty Mahomes is ever going to lose a game in his entire career. So, anyways, I'm just kidding. That was a great game, actually, that the Chiefs played against Miami this week. I don't know if you guys caught any of that game,
Yeah.
but that was a fun one to watch.
It was good.
The Chiefs were actually in trouble for a bit there until they weren't. Right at the beginning of that game, there was 10-0, I think, or something, and then it was quickly like 27-10. Like,
if we're looking at this, NFL playoff picture, hold on, I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. Because the Browns right now are ahead of the Ravens by a game, and the Ravens have beaten them twice.
And the Ravens are the last one basically in the hunt that could possibly get in.
Because the Ravens beat them
lost.
twice, so the Browns have to win every single game now.
Yeah.
Browns have to win
And-
every single game. And I
Right.
think if I look at the Browns schedule, I don't think they have that. They have the Jets, the Giants, which they should beat the Jets. Giants will give them a little run, but they should beat the Giants. The Giants aren't that great. And then they have the Steelers, who honestly, if the Steelers keep playing the way they're playing, I think the Browns could roll them. Not like
Yeah,
not like
so we'll
pound them to the
see.
ground, but I think that because the Steelers did beat them 38-7 their last time playing, but I think that the Browns could make it like a nice Ravens-Browns game if they play the right way.
Yeah.
Because we see
Yeah.
that the Steelers are just susceptible to losing to teams that are not like God.
Yeah, the Steelers are getting hit with a reality check now, and we'll see how they deal
I
with
mean,
it.
now
I don't
the
know.
Steelers
They
have
got to
to
figure
play
things out before the playoffs, though.
the Steelers have to play the Bengals. So if they lose to Washington football team and they're about to lose to the Bengals 2-10, I'm telling you right now, the Steelers are
The
not
Joe
going anywhere.
Burrow-less, the Joe Burrow-less Bengals, keep in mind. So they better not lose that game.
Yeah, they better not. But right now, the playoff picture we're looking at, which I think we all kind of predicted. I mean, we got Chiefs, and I'm actually surprised Packers kind of came up on top. I thought it was going to be between them and the Saints. I thought Saints might pull it off, but
It's
Saints
not over with because Drew Brees is back this week.
It
So
isn't
ain't
over with. I think with the Drew Brees out, Saints kind of fell down a little bit if you're looking at those power rankings. But Packers and Saints are tied right now, basically. Then we got Rams and Bills in their third spots, which honestly not surprised there. Thing that pisses me off, again, we got Titans in the 4, and then you got Washington in the 4. I don't understand why we have to do this stupid system where the 6-7 team is making it to the fucking playoffs. Sorry.
It's tough. I'm just glad that they're not going to end up being like 4-12 because for a second there, it looked like the winner of that division could have been. So at least like Washington and the Giants are like playing decent football. Actually, even the Eagles, now that they're starting Jalen Hurts over Carson Wentz. The Eagles beat the Saints last week, and that was a fun game to watch. I hate watching the Eagles. I hate their brand of play, especially it's partially because they beat us in the Super Bowl, but also because I just don't like the Eagles. Ugh. But with Jalen Hurts, all of a sudden I was like, oh, this is a fun team to watch.
Yeah, I know. Agreed.
But now we got the Colts, and the Bucks are still making it. Cardinals, I'm happy with the Cardinals. I want to see Kyler Murray play in the playoffs.
Yeah, I hope Kyler gets there.
The thing I'm a little disappointed in is the Dolphins, 8-5.
Disappointed, or like you're disappointed because you're a Patriots fan, or you're disappointed?
I'm disappointed because I'm a Patriots fan, but also
record?
just I'm happy for them, but I'm disappointed as a Patriots fan. I mean, 8-5, just
that's good for that. Yeah, you think you're saying it's good, right?
It's good for them. It's just I'm pissed off as a Patriots fan.
Yeah, as a Patriots fan, it sucks to have two teams in your division better than you. Now, for the first time in 20 years, we've always won this division, and now we have two teams better than us. But I am surprised, and Tua Tagovailoa has been playing fantastic. So I'm happy for Miami that they finally got a quarterback that they like. They have a team that they can build around. They have some nice pieces. Xavier Howard is filthy. As a Patriots fan, obviously, loved J.C. Jackson and rooting for him for Defensive Player of the Year, even though that's not going to happen. Xavier Howard has been even better than J.C. Jackson. The guy is ridiculous. That one-handed interception against Kansas City this week was filthy. Full on OBJ.
But, I mean, we got also looking at this, I mean, picture-wise, we got what? We got 3 more games left for most teams, I think. So Dolphins got to play the Pats, which is always still a tough one. Bills, which is probably going to be an automatic loss there. And the Raiders, which the Raiders are never consistent, but sometimes they just pull off a miracle. And then the Pats got Dolphins, Jets, and Bills. So the easy wins should be for the Jets, and that'll take us to 7-7. And then if we won all our games, we'd be 9-7. And if the Dolphins lost all theirs, they'd be, what would that be?
They would probably be 8-8, right? Because what are they, 8-5 right now?
They'd be 8-8. So,
but they're not going to lose all their games. So there's no way. The Patriots and the Raiders are both done. The Ravens are the last one in the hunt. The Ravens are the only ones with a chance at this point.
The Ravens got to beat the Ravens have such an easy slate. Giants, Jags, and Bengals.
They're just going to be relying on So we'll see how things play out.
And Browns got, let's see, just real quick check. Oh yeah, I already said that. Browns and Ravens are both playing a similar team to Giants. So if the Giants can beat one of them, that's hurting one of those teams. But right now, again, Cleveland's still got a. So it's an interesting. We're still in the hunt with the Ravens, but I think right now playoff picture is pretty solidified. Just a couple places to move around with some teams like the Saints and
definitely
Packers. But
we'll get into more predictions once they become more solidified.
Yeah, I think by
definitely.
week. Yeah, I think
I can we'll cover the Jerry West drama next week once we see if there's more.
Yeah, we need a little bit more. So the Clippers got a little drama with Kawhi, and
story.
We need a little bit more understanding. Like when I first read it, all they said is this guy wanted $2.5 million, and that was it.
Yeah.
And we'll do a start bench cut for NFL next week.
Yeah, but all right, boys. Is that all we got this week? Do you guys want to talk about
I think
anything?
so. I'm all set.
That's all we have.
All right,
leave a like and subscribe. We're also on Spotify, so head over there and follow that.
You always made this. If you made it this far, always like and subscribe.
Love you guys.
Movement. Boys, as always, thank you for coming today.
It's been real.
Absolutely, man. It's been real.
We'll talk to you all later.
Peace.
Peace.